Pick up our 10 a.m. Time starting. Has to do with the fundraiser. The reason why I wanted to put this on is just to give the opportunity for the educate the public a little more about the Janesville Music Program and the Special Athletes Activities Club. Mr. Claypool is here. Thank you for coming, and I know your daughter's been a big benefactor of the Janesville Music.
Jesse Claypool from Janesville School Board. We really have benefited greatly from Mr. Walsh's support of a music program at Janesville School. In the elementary school, it's pretty much the only music program left in the county. And it's been, as Mr. Walsh said, my daughter's life, she's 8th grade now. She's learned how to play 4 instruments going through that program, and it's taken the support of our community. With all the funding cuts at the school, we have it basically on a volunteer basis and support from our community. So we're very honored that Mr. Wasick has taken that cause up. It's a very important aspect of education, is having the arts in there. So on behalf of the school and as a parent, thank you, Mr. Wasick, for your continued support.
I haven't done much up until this 26 miles. That wasn't contributing. Until then, it was just
I guarantee you, the picture I took of the 22-mile mark, he was definitely not. He was suffering.
Jesse, is AR running the program still?
Yes, we have a great teacher that teaches the instruments and the singing, and he does it basically on a volunteer basis. The board has been able to stipend him somewhat for his activities, and he's recently put together a music library of sheet music that was complete to the school by a gentleman in the community that has 27 filing cabinets full of sheet music that go back into this far back in the 1700s. That he's put together to be able to offer that to the community. I know the symphony has already been looking into it for various scores, and so Mr. James has been just a crucial part of the success of that program.
He's been, how many years has he been?
This would be, I believe, his 10th year.
Yeah.
So he's been.
A few years ago, Levi was, that's how I found out about it. He took part in the thing.
We're very fortunate. Like I said, it's the only music program in elementary school left in the county, so we're very fortunate.
How many kids are doing that?
He has 2 classes from the little kids up, and each one of them have about 14 kids in there. So it's pretty good.
So from like first, second grade?
Yep, all the way. Yep, from it has just the little ones in their kick.
Yeah.
More noise than music, but it's a good start for them. So.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. And Carrie Nyman from the Special Athletes Activity Club wasn't able to get a substitute teacher today, so she couldn't come. But it's just a really great thing. I was made aware of the Special Athletes Activities Club in the years I operated the bowling alley. And I'll tell you, the one guy in particular in the program was, he doesn't have eyesight, and they line him up with the ramp, and just seeing the expression on his face, when he used to listen to the bowling pins go down, I mean, it's priceless. And that class and seeing those people get the enjoyment out of that place was kind of kept me going there.
How much did you raise overall for the 2?
Yeah. My wife didn't make any addition errors last night at midnight. I think it was, so it was $1,140. There was $530 raised for the Janesville Music and $610 for the Special Athletes Activities Club.
And how much for the school?
530 and 610, and I want to thank you, the board members, for your contribution, and also the media. Ruth, thank you for your involvement, and JDX and Jeremy at Susanville Stuff. And it was nice. And in addition, I've made a contribution on my discretionary funds $650 to Janesville and also to the Special Athletes Activities Club.
Thank you.
The discretionary funds was a heck of a lot easier to raise than this other money. So anyhow, I'll swing by and see Zach on my way back and drop this off.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for
Really
coming.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it. Okay, thanks. So we'll move on. There's a 10:45 time certain. We'll take that up now.
Do I need to do that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Did let's see. Let me give you a proper introduction.
I'm Lisa Kumar. Lisa Kumar, Kumar.
Yeah, this is a proclamation in recognition of National Family Caregivers Month. This is item D2, and we have a proclamation to adopt. I guess we'll take care of that first. Second. Is there any public comment before we take action, and then we'll carry on with the rest of it? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Chair votes aye. And, okay, we got that taken care of.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Well, thank you for coming. And would you like to share some information? about your
No, we would
program?
just like to thank you on behalf of all of the Lassen County home care providers, and we appreciate you doing this for us.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'd just like to read aloud the proclamation for the benefit of the public. Proclamation in recognition of National Family Caregivers Month, November 2014. Whereas family members, friends, and professional home care workers devote themselves to providing in-home care to their relatives, loved ones, and clients. During National Family Caregivers Month, we recognize and thank the humble heroes who do so much to keep our families and communities strong. And whereas in-home caregivers are a vital pillar of our nation's long-term care system, enabling millions of seniors and people with disabilities to continue living with dignity and self-determination in their own homes. The work of these caregivers requires immense compassion, attentiveness, understanding, and a deep commitment to the well-being of others. And whereas California's in-home supportive services program serves nearly 500,000 clients. In-home support services workers preserve quality of life for those individuals, save taxpayers' dollars, and prevent more costly hospitalization or institutionalization. And whereas in-home caregivers have an immeasurable impact on the lives of those they care for, but their hours are long and their work is hard. Many family caregivers are unpaid, and most home care professionals receive modest compensation. They often put their own lives on hold, sometimes sacrificing more lucrative careers and other life opportunities because they are dedicated to lifting up those in need. And whereas National Family Caregivers Month is a time to reflect on the compassion and dedication that in-home caregivers embody every day. As we offer our appreciation and admiration for their difficult work, let us also extend our own efforts to support them, their loved ones, and their clients. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Lassen County Board of Supervisors that November 2014 is National Family Caregivers Month. In Lassen County, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors honors and supports the work of in-home caregivers in our community and encourages all residents of Lassen County to pay tribute to them for their exemplary service to the community. The foregoing proclamation was duly adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Lassen, the State of California, held today. And thank you again.
Thank you very
Would you
much.
like to both introduce you and your coworker? Yeah. We didn't get a chance to hear from you.
I'm Lisa Kumar, and I'm a home care provider.
I'm Teresa Caples. I was a provider for 20 years. I'm currently staff with California Home Care Workers. That represents 20,000 IHSS providers in California for better working conditions and just for them to get respect as home care as you said in your proclamation, it's very hard and tiring work that is gone unseen to a lot of people in the community.
And we thank you.
Yeah, do they get a certificate that you read, or, I'm not quite sure.
After it's signed, I will get it back to you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay. I think let's take up our consent calendar. We have, oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. There's an 11 o'clock one here too. We go on past. Let's take up the item B3. Recognition presentation.
Forgot about the road department.
These are all easy ones.
Very
Long ones. Aaron Metcalf.
Erin was unable to attend today. She had a situation that came up that demanded her attention, so I was here on her behalf.
Are you sure?
Pardon me?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, I'll read it aloud. The certificate presented to Aaron Metcalf in appreciation for 10 years of employment with the County of Lassen. We, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with this certificate of recognition and thank you for your time, effort, and commitment.
Erin has been with our department for 10 years, and she's moved through the ranks, and she's currently a senior probation officer, and she's also an acting supervisor. The work that she has done has been exemplary, and I know that she's definitely a committed member of our department, and her service is definitely appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make sure she gets that.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good,
No
thank you.
mess ups now?
Not yet.
Okay. Craig Cincinnati.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi, Larry.
Good to meet you, Larry.
Craig, in appreciation for your 10 years of employment with the County of Lassen, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with a certificate of recognition and thank you for your time, effort, and commitment.
Thank you.
You betcha.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's nice.
Bill Crew.
Another 10 years is so good. Maybe I'll see you again.
All right. Cool.
Have a good day.
You betcha.
Wait a minute, Craig.
Thank you.
Not off yet.
Oh, man.
Craig worked out of our District 4 Beaver area. He been, of course, 10 years. He just recently was promoted to our senior road equipment operator up there. Besides doing all the normal stuff, he's kind of been trained and is our paving operator now. We
Yeah.
appreciate all your work, hard work, Craig.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the chance to do the best I can do each day for you guys.
Thanks. Bill Anderson. How's it going? Pretty good. Bill, in appreciation for your 15 years of employment with the County of Lassen, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with this certificate of recognition and thank you for your time, effort, and commitment. Thank you. Thank you.
It's been fun.
Yeah? Yeah, good. Not even like work when it's fun, huh?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Good.
Bill, likewise, is our senior equipment operator out in Standish area. Been there, what, a few years. He started out as a road equipment operator in Westwood and moved up to Standish and promoted up to senior. Besides all the other Bill's kind of taken over our operating of our grinder, asphalt grinder. That's a specialty work. Yes. So thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Rich will take up our G, our information consent calendar. Is there any items that need to be moved for
abstain on one and we need to correct another.
Okay, let's take a peek.
Well, did you want to do the rest of the consent first? Can you do the rest of the consent
Sure,
calendar first?
okay. Looking for a motion to approve. Do we have a second? A second. Any public comment on the balance sheet calendar? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Chair votes aye. This, the minutes of,
Yeah, I'm gonna look on that. I need to abstain on the minutes. I was absent, but on the minutes of October 28th, it shows under the opening present and absent from the day Supervisor Chapman. I think that was a carryover from when I was present at that meeting, and then I looked through the body of the minutes. I voted, participated numerous times, so I think that's just in there, so I should just be reflected as minutes, but I was absent from the meeting for the whole day on the 14th.
Got it. I make that change.
okay,
So this new format actually, I like it. Well,
It's unanimous.
I was going to say that I like Susan's better.
so with those changes, anyone care to move?
We have to do them separately to have them stay either permit the first one.
Okay, so for the 14th,
Let's take up the 14th first. Second. All right. Okay, is there any discussion? Yeah, Eileen?
This is just a memo from County Health, and it's 4 paragraphs, so I'll read it. Dear Supervisors, the people have a reasonable expectation that the agendas and minutes will be posted in a timely manner. We have attached a copy of the status of the minutes of your meetings for the year 2014. It is apparent that there has been given little priority for the minutes to be done in a timely manner. It is also abundantly clear that the clerk of the board has not been able to manage this task. The clerk of the board is Julie Bustamante. Can We Help would like the members of this board to insist on the minutes be completed and presented to the board for approval no more than 2 weeks after a meeting has taken place. And you can see how many are outstanding, that nothing's been done. And this is the people's business, after all, and we have a right to this information. And there are people back in September that you're going to eventually bring this current, but it'll be months after the fact. And there are people that not only you approve it, but there are people in the audience that have attended these meetings that also could have a correction. And by putting them 6 months out, it's hard for the board to remember if they're accurate, let alone the public that attended these meetings to make sure that they're accurate. And we do want accurate accounting of our meetings. And again, this is the public's business, and we have a right to certain expectations.
Thank you. Richard, is this accurate that there's 11 consecutive weeks?
Well, four of them were no meeting for health, so how do you have minutes for no meeting?
The highlighting was done quickly, Jim.
So I don't know about September 9th, 16th, and 23rd.
there's no payment. that was the transition. Still transitioning.
How about the October?
They just have the 14th and the 28th right now, today.
The 21st is yet.
It's September as well.
We did have a meeting on the 11th.
No, we had it on the 12th and on the 10th.
So
We
just
did have a meeting on the 18th.
We're just asking, the ones that have been approved, if somebody could show the county clerk how to post them so the public has
They are not
access to
yet
them?
completed, and that's something I am working on, and I alone, and I can only do one thing at a time. and I
Maybe
apologize.
maybe you should only be doing that then, Susan.
So yes, it appears those are not
Okay.
done and posted.
Okay.
I'm not, in the Quad County meeting is curious to me. Susan wasn't there.
But we don't do minutes for that. That was not for the board. That was just on our agenda.
There were minutes taken.
Yes. They don't come back to this board.
So these are more than likely be all caught up by the end of next month.
Can't say. I'm working on it.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Chair votes aye.
I abstain.
One abstention.
That was on the 14th.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll take up the minutes of the 28th.
I would move the adoption of the minutes of the 28th with the corrections as to my attendance.
Any public comment? Okay. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Chair votes aye. Okay. All right, let's take up item F1, appointment, vacancy on assessment appeals board. Are you going to take that one, Richard?
Sure. There is a vacancy on the Assessment Appeals Board. I believe there are 3 applicants. One of the applicants is the alternate. And so if the alternate is chosen to fill the permanent position, it leaves a vacancy in the alternate spot, which I believe we're agendized to be able to do 2 of those if that's the direction the board would like to go. There's also a provision to have 2 alternates. So if the board chooses to appoint 2 alternates, they could also do that.
Any public comment on this item?
Who's the alternate?
Cindy DeMasi. She's the current.
Because it doesn't show on the application, she doesn't state that she's an alternate.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Well, it sounds like to me that we're having trouble getting people to show up to these appeal process things. Hearings. So 2 alternates might not be a bad idea.
One caveat to that, there is minimum qualifications established in the code for persons sitting on the appeal board, and Pennsylvania spell those out for you before making an appointment.
Does council know that the 3 listed on here, are they all eligible?
That's the discretion of the board, whether or not they qualify as eligible.
From the parameters.
There's several ways that can qualify. One is it being a CPA broker, and we'll find the code here. So one of the following.
I was going to say, it's in your binder, it's sort of in taxation codes, page 24. There's provisions A1 and A2.
But have you guys verified, how must we know?
What we've done is just what's on the application that you have before you. Haven't done any further research into that.
So we could,
So-
appoint, and if there's a problem, then.
Well, I think by appointing, you're making the determination that they're qualified. And I would suggest that the first applicant is Julie Brown. She stated that she's got 30 or so years in the mortgage industry. That's her basic qualification. The next one being Cindy Demasi, I would presume that since she's
She has completed the training,
so she's
yes.
since she's an alternate,
But she does, is going for the appointment, not the alternate.
right. So I would suggest that she's qualified. She's been sitting on it as an alternate. The last one is Mr. Johnson, who's here to, I believe here, and he may want to address his qualification. As far as the application goes, I don't think just being a taxpayer is the homeowner and a taxpayer necessarily meets those definitions, but that's not to say that's the only qualifications Mr. Johnson has. That's just all that was on the application. He may wish to address you.
Mr. Johnson, have you seen the statute where it lists the requirements?
No, I was never shown any of that.
Okay. I could just,
You want to read,
Yeah.
or one of us can?
maybe county council.
Well, all three of these applicants, I believe, are applying under A2, which is a person is not eligible for nomination for membership on an assessment appeals board unless he or she meets one of the following criteria and has 1 and 2. And number 2 is a person who the nominating member of the board of supervisors has reason to believe is possessed of competent knowledge of property appraisal and taxation.
We all got a little bit supportive of this after that discussion. So, I was going to say, after that discussion, I'm surprised we have anybody who wanted to be
So that's the criteria?
Yes. The reason that I state A2 is because on the face of all three of the applications that you have before you,
Yeah.
it doesn't appear that any of them assert that they are a broker or, because A1 requires that you have 5 years professional experience in this state as a certified public accountant, a licensed real estate broker, et cetera, and it doesn't appear on the face of the complaint that any of the on the face of the applications that any of the applicants are claiming that, that any of the applicants are asserting that they have any of that criteria or have passed any exams for that criteria.
So, Mr. Johnson, it says, you own property, right?
Yes, I own property in Lassen County. I also own property in Lemhi County, Idaho. And I'm the owner of several mining claims in Plumas County.
You understand how an appraisal works?
Yes, I have gone through several appraisals on my properties over the years. I also spent over 15 years in the construction industry, which dealt with building and appraisers and a whole shebang.
You understand you've paid tax bills and taxation?
I always paid my taxes. And yes, I've been through an appeal before, and it had a favorable outcome for me in dealing with the assessor's office. And well, I believe in Prop 13, and I believe in common sense.
All right. Works for me. Any other questions? Bob, any questions out there? Jim? Okay. So what's the pleasure of the board?
I'd like to see us get the 2 alternates on this one. Because we're having trouble getting the appeals boards here, and that seems to be a excuse or reason for things not progressing.
So we appoint all 3, then we have one. One of these is a permanent, and the other 2 are alternates?
Correct. Yeah, and the proper procedure, I think, would be for a board member to nominate for the individual slots, whichever you choose.
Should select the replacement for Mr. Allen as the permanent, and then if you want to designate the other two as alternates, that could be a second motion.
But it should be alternate one, alternate two.